asking if he would have made it into Mensa as a kid. I, independently of anyone's influence, discovered the fundamental theorem of calculus when I was in 3rd grade, though I didn't really understand its full magnitude. Shortly after, I had also independently discovered algebra in 2nd grade. If my parents had let me skip grades and didn't prioritize socialization, I would have skipped at least 4. I took an IQ test after I got a concussion that seriously affected my processing speed and still got 130. The fulfillment of my dopamine receptors finds no equal to the profound satisfaction emanating from the consumption and introspection of striking specimens of philosophical literature. Oh, Edmund Husserl's Phenomenology of Habituality and Habitus, you've rocked my bloody world. Dude just discovered a dictionary. Why do some people with a higher IQ look dumb? The more you know, the dumber you sound to stupid people. Freshly harvested from a discussion about democracy not being good. People have very obviously become objectively stupid, collectively. I only notice this because I have this strange ability to think critically. The blue checks are at it again. This article is unreadable hate. This is truly the kind of razor-sharp analysis only $8 can provide, lol. Inexpensive it may be at $8, the verity of authentication is unquestionable. One cannot discount the value of provocation to stir the dormant minds ensnared in the labyrinth of their own basement-dwelling existence. I'd willingly part with $200 knowing the chord it strikes. God was like, psych, psych, or psych, pronounced as psych instead of psyche, as in using psychology to psych out someone. Psych was always just lazy spelling of spoken words by someone who didn't understand what they were hearing, like MC, Master of Ceremony, turning into MC in writing by people who didn't know what MC was. Thank you for your useless comment. Ironically, I find it limiting. It feels like I'm versed in the mundanity of life and I'm still in my 20s, very late 20s, mind you. Like you're hearing the same joke over and over and no one around you is tired of it. I have a friend who is not gifted and the cycles he finds himself in are apparent to me, but still elicit the same vigor for him. I believe to be ignorant of your folly in a dichotomous sense is liberating. You can just start again tomorrow without being haunted by. This man's dating profile states he values intelligence. Intelligence. I can name all of the presidents, backwards. I can name all current U.S. Supreme Court justices, all retired and living U.S. Supreme Court justices, plus a good number of U.S. Supreme Court justices from history. I can name all of the Super Bowl winners, backwards. I can name all of the British prime ministers from World War II to today. I watch Jeopardy, WWTBAM, Chase, Split Second, and Tug of Words. I am a knowledge information sponge. Most mentally sane Discord user. Harvard graduate, PhD, IQ of 138, Stanford Benet, sex pundit, cunning linguist, free-thinking alpha male and lone wolf, likely hotter than you, and definitely smarter. Debate me, I'm ready. Oh, and how could I miss? Help me believe it's not the real me. Somebody help me tame this animal. Other brilliant man, rare and other humble enough to learn what you teach. Young kings, there's a price to pay for being a winner. At the highest echelon of brilliance, you can only be friends with 2 kinds of people. 1, other brilliant men, rare. 2, those humble enough to learn as you teach. Anyone else will turn on you sooner or later. So is her IQ 150 or not? If you had an IQ over 150, would you tell anyone? No. How do people with IQs of 140 to 200 think from a social, intellectual, and practical point of view? I tested at 150 in high school. My parents showed this score to me and I decided to graduate early. At 16, I went to my state university school of engineering, blah, 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 no one cares. I refuse to Google Coomer. Please elegantly elucidate. She, her, smarter than you in every way, an expert in advanced physics and multiple languages, the light in the darkness of ignorance that is this website. You can try to debate me, but I always win. Should have corrected her spelling mistakes to show that she isn't smart. Should have. It can be pronounced either way, but thanks for the consideration. Much appreciated. You have got to be kidding. You should really check up on it. The way of English literature is really different from when I was in school. Oh no, this 18-wheeler is about to hit my car. Allow me to just gently nudge it out of the way with my body. 16-wheeler. Those triaxles on the trailer are singles, not dualies. And if they were dualies, it'd be a 22-wheeler. Facts. Edit, then again, I'm not sure what the semi has for its own rear axles, so I could be wrong too. Could be a 12-wheeler or a 14-wheeler, but most definitely not an 18. Dude said, actually, then later said, well, actually, I'm not really sure. Apparently, spending time on trick shots is only for the small-brained. Way too much time on their hands. Only a mere 35 hours for that card trick. You could see how happy he was when it finally worked. The stupidity and lack of mental complexity it takes to be excited by things like this is kind of annoying. I possess a quality that allows me to have both internal monologues, and I can create an entire universe in my head and play out an entire story in short bursts of time using images and or energy. But then there are people who cannot hear themselves think. Fascinating. And of course they would use a gif of Sherlock. The guy who does the whole, like, monologuing to himself, plotting things out, seeing numbers flying around. Yeah, of course. This is so perfect. For the time you look at this image, you don't know if it's a boy and girl, a girl and a girl, a boy and a boy, a black man and a white girl, a white man and an Asian girl. You know nothing. Just the simplicity of the connection and the beauty of two human beings sharing love, and that is all that should ever matter. False. The external occipital protuberance on the right skull is much more pronounced, indicating that it is male while the left arm is female. Also, the both skulls have undulating jawbones, mostly ascribed to Caucasians or Africans. The back of the lower jaw is flatter on the left, meaning that the owner is most likely Caucasian. Unfortunately, the edge of the jaw is obscured on the right, making it harder to distinguish. Of course, all this data is imprecise, but it paints a picture of a straight, non-Asian couple, most likely both white. Nice idea, though. They're like laying out all these facts, like, it could be anything, but most likely a straight white couple, because that's what God wants. Hot take, all monolinguals are the worst, not simply English-speaking ones. Duolingo is free. Non-English monolinguals don't get a free pass for speaking monolinguals just because English speakers are the worst about their monolingualism. I have formerly studied Spanish, French, Russian, and German, taught myself Swedish, and natively understand Tamil, as well as having taught myself 7 programming languages. My largest issue is a lack of chances to practice, although I've recently decided I'll attempt Spanish fluency. Everyone should at least try to learn a second language, regardless of what their native language is. Wonder why he is still looking at 45? David, 45. I'm a professional nuclear engineer. What is there more to say? 6 foot plus 6 figures, 260 with 34-inch waist. Am I checking all the boxes? I do not care what you are. I don't care what you make. Men don't see any of it anyway. I want a real woman. Another reason I'm on here. I want to know how many likes I get, given I'm 0.5 of the population in this country. As someone who tested in the 99th percentile and higher for reading skills in school, it really put my frustration with other people's reading skills into perspective. I would notice a lot of my classmates would entirely skip over words when reading out loud, or read the first few letters of a word and then guess what the rest of the word is. There'd end up being an enormous gap between what was on the page and what was read out loud, both in terms of content and overall meaning. It was dreadful and kind of frightening that people were getting passed along in school on their way to graduation with somewhere between a 4th and 8th grade reading level. Felt lucky though that I was reading at a 12th grade level or so by 5th grade. I think we should normalize adult literacy courses because they're truly necessary if we want to start fixing some of our more complicated issues. Dude has a hissy fit about a minigun in a video game. First of all, it's a Maxim gun, not a Gatling, and especially not a minigun, which refers to a specific model, chambered in 7.62 NATO. Edit, apologies, but pedanticism doesn't let that slide. First of all, that is not a Maxim gun, that is pixels on a screen. I'm about to quit Python. It's been 7 days I'm learning Python and I find it hard. My IQ is 126 and I know I'm a genius. However, coding's still a challenge to me. Should I quit or persevere? Agreed. This is my most frequent reaction to performative outrage. I have a statistics degree practicing the pathos side of reasoning used in the humanities. Emotion argumentation is ridiculous to the point of parody. Begging for satire, we cannot tell what's real or comedy any longer. I am one of the most intelligent attorneys and penetrating legal minds of this generation. Coming soon, the blank law firm. Coming soon to the blank area, blank law firm will be opening, blah blah blah. Founded by blank, the scorer of a 173, the 99.7th percentile on the LSAT, a 169 roughly on the 95th percentile on the multi-state bar exam, portion of the blank bar exam, and a total of a 331 on the blank bar exam overall. and a Juris Doctor graduate of Blank School of Law, one of the premier law schools in the United States, if not the world. With its main office located in Blank, Blank will be the sole attorney at the firm. Blank prides himself on his vast intellectual abilities and his ability to become an expert in any field of the law in an extremely short time span, often learning in 1 week doctrines that even experts in their respective fields fail to grasp. Blank has practiced previously in the fields of zoning law, local government, condemnation, defense, property law, corporate law, and constitutional law, and is well versed in these fields, though he is always excited by the opportunity to become an expert with respect to additional fields of law. For the month of May, meetings with Blank regarding new cases will be appointment only, but please feel free to call Blank to make such an appointment. So if you want to hire one of the most intelligent attorneys and penetrating legal minds of this generation to handle your legal matter, please call Blank to speak with Blank or to schedule an appointment. This is part of the reason I try to write with the amount of effort I do. It's far easier to understand by most metrics, along with the fact that it will be harder to see inherent flaws with how I write. Some people find it annoying when people write like they would a college essay, but I don't solicit that opinion anyway. Guy I went to high school with. He also says he plans to run for president. He isn't joking. I live my life 500 miles at a time. No more, no less. I'm focused on my destination and think about the future. I'm a really complex and interesting person. I regret that some of the women who could break my heart are women who can't sustain or initiate a conversation on black holes, Marxism, behavioral economics, criminology, smart agriculture, literary criticism, number theory, poison distribution, etc. What a wasted youth. Watching a show clearly makes you smart with indispensable skills that can run a 30B public company. I love how we the fans were acknowledged as smart, discerning intellectuals. It's true, and I'm 100% certain that each of us knows it for a fact too. One can only truly enjoy Secession if one is highly curious, highly capable of abstract thinking and filling in so many corpo jargon blanks, is skilled at reading between the lines and knows how to successfully strategize, lie, and manipulate. Arguably, these are all highly valuable skills. Not to mention that one also possesses a supremely twisted and highly enjoyable dark sense of humor. Ha ha ha. Lol, okay, yeah, it's a smart show, but that doesn't mean it takes a genius to watch. Vision not too good though, those are words right there. Here's an educational meme I made. Hard to swallow pills. The average car does 17,000 times more damage than a cyclist, hence the minimal registration fees. Cyclists are safer riding on the street. Bike lanes help make roads more safe for all. I have an IQ of 154, so use your words. Thank you. Their IQ must not be high enough to see that there are words on that meme. On a conversation about pride. I'm 6'3", train martial arts, and have an IQ measured at 156. I was born into a family with ties to German nobility. My last name starts with von. You expect me not to be proud? I walk the streets knowing that I could take most people out physically and intellectually. Why would I consider myself their equal? Only slaves and inferior people seek equality because they know they can't compete. When you're truly excellent and full of vitality, you despise egalitarian. Hold on, I've never seen this word before. Egalitarianism? When a worm is stamped upon on the ground, it curls up and makes itself small. There is your humility. When a lion is challenged, it goes straight for the neck. There is your pride. This man thinks he's smarter, but can't even type. You girls wanted the equal opportunities and obligations. Understand the offer to help can be resented. Your vibes is a answer. We don't have to tolerate your sole character accountabilities as a respectable answer. Sole actions is either attraction or that value of a cat's hairball in kitty litter. So done with female. I once valued females, then when they told me learn my worth and I measured theirs to how much they are hands-on life situations as me beside me and what test score that is school education wise. Every kid you made and don't have that man is a grade level held back. Some of you don't even rank daycare, lol. Well, all of those are words. I am versed in the ways of the human mind. Before, I liked this subreddit a lot, but then I entered the faculty of psychology and realized that its members lack quality as people, frustrated in projecting themselves on different people and practices or actions. This leads them to want to make fun of other people's pain and misfortune, shame and misery. Unpleasant people that I have no idea why they think they are superior to others, and I mean it, I have no idea. They all have the same respiratory system, the same digestive system, they are all the same. The only thing that changes is the shell and not the masks that they create so exhaustively so as not to look weak and mediocre before the world. I farted. 2 out of 5 stars. I am a biochemist. I'm not impressed. Where's the vitamin K and folate? Never mind everything else. K stops bleeding. Why aren't they in a multivitamin? Bleeding people, kind of important. Where's the missing 33% vitamin C? You know, anti-cancer? Never mind the other missing stuff. Christopher. Love is like a cigarette. It's fun at first, but eventually it kills you. I'm 13 and this is deep. Okay, kid, I'm 16 and I don't feel it's deep. Right now, quantum mechanics and string theory are deep for me. How do I balance an obsession with academia and having normal friends? I find it very hard to be attracted to, become friends with, or sometimes just hold conversations with people who aren't extremely intelligent. I guess in some sense you'd use the term sapiosexual, and it's ruining my life. I get called pretentious a lot, but really I just refuse to dumb myself down for people, and am proud of my intelligence. I'm a first-gen uni student. I want to change before coming to uni since it makes me feel elitist or rude at times, and I feel like I'm cutting out a huge population of great people I can learn from just because they don't seem intelligent enough when I first meet them. Advice? Future student. Art critic fails to understand the point of an artwork. One of the worst drawings I've seen for understanding how light patterns from an area, the monitor. The spread is typical of a point source with enclosing shade, and even then the shadow overhead is ludicrous. Physics of light is part of communicative drawing and painting. These understandings emerged in the early Renaissance. Keep up? I personally think watching a game streamer is foolish, but to each their own. Entertainment is subjective. Whenever I try to comprehend the fractal abstractions of watching a person concealed by a fake personality and fake character overlay play a video game to appease an unceasing waterfall of sentence fragments and emoji, my brain reboots. We are Magadonians. We are very smart. We stick together as one. We follow Truth Social. We put America first, and we will make America great again. I can suggest an equation that has the potential to impact the future. E equals mc squared plus AI. This equation combines Einstein's famous equation E equals mc squared, which relates energy to mass and the speed of light, with the addition of AI, artificial intelligence. By including AI in the equation, it symbolizes the increasing role of artificial intelligence in shaping and transforming our future. This equation highlights the potential for AI to unlock new forms of energy, enhance scientific discoveries, and revolutionize various fields, such as healthcare, transportation, and technology. What? Does feeding infants tea increase their IQ? I've been drinking tea since the age of 2, and I am the smartest person I know of. I believe the caffeine in the tea increases a baby's brain activity and gets the synapses firing. This makes them smarter and more intelligent. I don't have any sources to prove it, but maybe some scientists could study this. When you are a baby, your brain is far more malleable than as an adult, so feeding babies tea and coffee could be a way to make babies smarter. 1 out of 5 stars. Their tests are a failure. I'm literally a certified genius, so to tell me I didn't pass their cognitive test just means they don't know how cognitive tests work. In short, almost the entire test is numerical math problems, the kind no one actually ever does in real life. Yes, there were some actual cognition questions, but very few. Just math, and more math. I have a disability related to reading numbers, but again, I am a certified freaking genius, and reading numbers has nothing to do with critical thinking. Nothing. This is just one more example of how millennials are not the right people to be running things. Maybe someday they will shut up and listen to those of us who created the tech industry, but it's not looking good. Yeah, so this is definitely ironic, right? Cute Japanese girl, thanks for the likes, please follow me. It is not enough only to be cute. I want to read intellectually stimulating posts when I'm on Twitter with important messages and so forth. Well, you're not gonna find a lot of that on Twitter. Guy shows off his big brain on a simple meme. Okay, so the kid has a rope. He wants to make a swing on a chair, but the guy has chopped all the trees down. We ourselves put mud on our heads by our senseless actions. Any quantum of advice provided futile. Our whole generation is an idiotic excuse for evolutionary theoretical pedagogy. Man, these words. Pathetic. What I found crazy is that things like gravity are just theories and not actual hard definition fact. To my understanding, some science is just theory. Most science uses the scientific method, which I guess you can test, but most things just end up being theories. Don't try to debate me on this because I know nothing like Jon Snow. She is the kind of person whom if I explain the matter or energy equivalency proof, she would be like, Reddit user flaunts his intelligence and superiority in his bio. I'm a software developer and a PhD in physics. I'm here primarily for fun and knowledge. One thing to know about me is that I'm nice only with nice and smart people. Given that lots of stupid people are out there, I'm not generally a nice person. I don't have the will to win people around unless they're valuable and have contributed to this world positively. If you're not one of those, I very likely won't have the will to play it nice with you unless you play it very nice with me. I literally learned Japanese just from anime. It's really easy to learn if you listen to it. I'm just kinda a genius, I guess. Negative 25 downvotes. What makes you special? What makes me special? I'm 5'11", i.e. taller than most Indian guys. I'm 17 and own a iPhone 12 Pro. I have a PS5 as well as a gaming PC, Core i9 plus RTX 3090. I live in the United States of America, LA to be precise. My ex-girlfriends have all been white, something I'm proud of. I'm an intellectual. TJA1W2, by the way, okay. I think I'm a mix between alpha and sigma male. I am a lone wolf type, but very outgoing too. I'm working out to be more muscular at just 17 years of age. Most kids of my age watch Friends and shit. I read Feynman lectures and watch more intellectual shows. I don't use shit like Facebook, Twitter, or Reddit. They're for normies. I only use Quora, LinkedIn, etc. Keep up your standards. I like Italian food over Indian. I want to become a billionaire. Biggest life goal. Most of my friends are into middle-wage jobs. Dream higher and bigger friends, as if they want to work middle-wage jobs. I like physics, maths, astronomy over low IQ subjects like arts. Like, how do people even go into arts? It's boring as hell and doesn't make use of brain one bit. I'm a budding polymath and polyglot. I'm pretty fair-skinned too. I prefer relationships over hookups as I've tried them both. Yeah, so this is 100% ironic, right? Right? My unproven personal theory explaining the Cambrian explosion is the development of the eye. Once the eye is developed, a processing arms race begins, whereby animals compete to better process and draw conclusions from the light entering the eye, as well as better and more capable eyes. Okay, but shouldn't your theory produce some falsifiable hypothesis? If it does, what are they? It's up to the theorist to take a stab at some of the falsifiable hypotheses that might follow from the postulated theory. Otherwise, it just sounds like you're saying, what if the Cambrian explosion worked exactly like the GPU machine learning market has? I'm not suggesting that you're saying something so facile, just that your musings need more meat on their bones before earning a collective promotion to theory status. If you have some falsifiable hypothesis in mind, I'm all ears. Although he doesn't understand coding, he's still a f***ing genius. Programming is easy. Programming is easy. I don't understand any code. My IQ is 143, and yes, I'm flexing, sorry. 19-year-old girl takes pride in not being able to socialize with people in her age group. When you get along better with the 35-plus-year-old chemists and PhDs than with the 25-plus-year-old partygoers. What architect designed the glass pyramid in the courtyard of the Louvre? I know that the average American is very uneducated and pretty stupid, but these 250,000 and 500,000 questions would be below $1,000 questions in the UK.